Hello everybody, my name is Martin Elsey and this is my hand, and we both like to welcome you to another edition of What's on the Bench. And today we're going back to 1959, to London 1959, time of Cliff Richard, coffee bars and the Cray brothers, and what a heady brew, hey? And we're going to be looking at 1959 Watkins Westminster. Wow, beautiful. So this belongs. Sorry, yeah, it's. I've got it with the chassis out at the moment, and we're looking at the back of the amp. Obviously, this belongs to my friend Chris Joins, or C Joins, as he's known professionally, if you like. He's a particularly fine sort of instrumental guitarist. A little bit of Davy Graham in there, a little bit of John Fahey, but a whole lot of other things going on there as well. This is his sort of gig and amp. Check him out anyway, Chris, because he's absolutely great. So anyway, this is his gig and amp. I kind of rebuilt this for him a couple of years back. The transformer was hanging off. We didn't know if we could really get it back together again. But after a complete capacitor replacement and a little bit of blood, sweat and tears, finally got it all back up and running again, and it's a really lovely little amp. I've borrowed it off him a couple of times for recording. It's just a great little amp. So, yeah, Charlie Watkins was producing, he got a few amps on the go through the 50s and into the 60s, changing to the WEM name sometime in the 60s. So this is pre-WEM. This is a Watkins amp. Yeah, it's a Westminster. This is the 14 watt variety. Essentially, it's the same circuit as you'd find in the V-fronted Dominator, but it's in a Westminster style package, just a square single speaker. What we've got three ECC 83s on the preamp stage. We've got an actual real full-blooded valve rectifier in there. That's two diodes in one package, one envelope, giving us full wave rectification. So we get this classic sag that we like from valve amps. In the output, we've got a couple of EL84s. So all in all, we end up here with a 14 watt amp, as opposed to 10 watts, which the Westminster normally is. We're getting the extra 4 watts from these EL84s. I think, what's the valve in the output of the regular Westminsters? I think it's ELC82, is it? Anyway, yeah, we've got these slightly higher powered valves in there. What is it? It's a 2-channel amp. We've got just volume and tone per channel, 2 inputs per channel. But we've got this tremolo channel as well, which is a great little thing. It's a really nice little tremolo, nice and warm and mellow. It's just a great little amp. I won't run it up here because we've got the back off, and we'll just hear the treble coming straight off the back of the speaker. We'll give it a blast in a minute. I'll put the lid back on and then run through it, and you can have a listen to it. Though I'm sure the phone won't really do it justice. I won't go to the history of Watkins, as there's plenty more people out there that know a great deal more about it than I am, and I know they're a pretty exacting bunch, the Watkins fans. So there's plenty of websites if you want to check that out. A lot is made of whether Charlie Watkins ripped this off, or whether he didn't, or whether he, stole this circuit from there or whatever. The fact is that all the valve manufacturers and component manufacturers today, even when they issue a new component, they issue it with a series of template circuits that you can use for, that you from their books you could build a complete amplifier easily. I'm sure that a lot of these, a lot of people, Fender, Marshall, etc., are all looking at the same circuits. One thing is true, is that compared with amps of the same output power, the English amps tend to have a little bit more, or this amp anyway, tends to have a little bit more gain. It's easier to push into overdrive is what I'm saying. A little bit more sensitivity because the EL84s have a bit more gain than their American counterparts, I think it's the 6V6. So that gives them just that little bit more sensitivity. The same is true as well of EL34s compared to 6L6s, the higher powered output valves that are used in Fender Twins, the 6L6s, and EL84s used in Marshalls, big Marshalls, the 100-watt Marshalls. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, this had a complete rebuild. Normally over here you'd see a big, it's basically a capacitor. It's three capacitors in one, big smoothing capacitors for the high voltage rails. Sometimes people I know kind of hollow those old cans out and then put the new modern equivalents inside the can just to make it look cosmetically consistent with the time. But I think that's just a bit of a pretension, to be honest. This is a working amp, for gigging purposes. So that's what it is. Let's not be pretentious about it. Anyway, each to their own, I would say. So I'll leave it there for now, and then we'll get the lid back on this and have a quick listen, see what it sounds like. Okay, see you after a while. Okay, everybody, and welcome back to What's on the Bench. Continue to look at the 59 Watkins Westminster 14-watt amp. I thought you might just have a quick look in the back before I put the lid back on. So we've got the chassis back in now. You can see all the point-to-point wiring on the back here. I've got new capacitors in here. Got the old LAC speaker there as well. That's the original 10-inch speaker. That's about the short and tall of it. Watkins nameplate in there. Serial number 233. Yep. And you can probably also see there's back here these bits of blue tack, which Chris has put in here, a rather innovative approach. He's taken a rather innovative approach here to vibration damping. The back's actually just made out of relatively thin plywood, and when you get that on there and you really got the wick turned up, that starts flapping about a little bit. So Chris has put in a bit of blue tack here just to reduce that. Now this is kind of innovation that made Britain great. This is the stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get the back on this, so we'll have a short intermission here. You can listen to some music. I'll screw the back on here, and then we'll power it up. Okay. Right. See you in a minute. I see the Okay, let's give it a power up, see what we've got. So if you were listening and enjoying that wonderful piece of music, I hope you paid particular attention there to the guitar solo at the end, because that was played on and recorded obviously on this amp using good old Hagstrom Super Swede. So let's see if we can get some sounds out of that. And that was by my outfit Tribes of Europe, by the way. Check them out because they're mighty fine. So okay, let's test it out, see what we've got, get some sounds. We're on, red light's glowing, lovely. Want a plectrum or two. Never find one when you want one. There we go. Okay, let's just turn this down a little bit. Okay, so that's about a quarter of the way up. These are loud amps. Full tone. It's a good sound, it's a great sound. Back all the tone off, see what we've got. There's a lovely snap to the tone as well. Okay, now I'm not sure if you're going to get the effect of this, but we'll try it flat out. I'm not sure if you're going to, it might just sound fizzy and horrible on this little phone speaker, but we'll try it anyway. It's a hell of a sound. Anyway, turn it down a bit. So yeah, this is the tremolo channel we're on here. So that was with the tone flat out, by the way. Let's put the tremolo actually on. Original foot switch. Don't know if you can see that. Lovely. Beautiful. Dream. Okay, that's full depth, full speed. Let's turn the speed down to minimum. Lovely. Yeah, what I was going to tell you. Westminster, 14 watts, 1959, beautiful little amp, fantastic amp, and I hope Chris will let me borrow it again next time I want to record. So anyway, thanks very much for joining us on What's on the Bench, and we'll see you again next time for some other classic piece of kit from yesteryear. Take care then, bye.